What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, man? It's the Six Paths Commandments. I was just thinking, like, you know what? While I'm sitting here on YouTube watching other people's content, man, I gotta make sure I'm working on my own content. So I switched to glasses to give you a little bit of production value. Let me know if it's doing anything for you. But anyway, so when I turn to Six Paths Commandments, man, we always want to be working on improving our health, our six paths of health, and one of the concerns I always have is, and I mean, I don't know if people really advocate for this or not, or maybe I should even put a title on it, but I'm an advocate for helping men get into the best health possible, and not using like this witchcraft that we see out here. One of the biggest problems we have in the nation, is low testosterone. You see more products for erectile dysfunction, depression, all these things, performance, testosterone, and I was having a conversation earlier about how, what really helped me to start understanding how the world works, what's going on, and what's going on around us and whatnot, and not being bamboozled, is follow the money. Always follow the money. When someone tells you anything, always follow the money. Now, something different when someone just having a conversation with you, right? And they're not, and they're not biased, because let me give you a good example, right? So, say if someone's telling you, hey, why don't you try CBD? The CBD does this, does that, right? And then you say, okay, let me try that out. Now, it's going to be, now, again, that person has a vested interest in that because they invested in the CBD. Let's take it a step further. Say I'm telling you all the benefits of CBD, and then after that, I say, and hey, I sell CBD too. You can buy some from me, right? You follow the bread, and you'll see, okay, all right, okay, this person has a vested interest, so they need to sell me on the idea of CBD being able to help me in some kind of way. And I'm not saying that CBD doesn't help me anything. I'm just giving an example. But when I observed how the CBD market develops, because in the beginning and whatnot, it was something that a lot of people didn't know about, they weren't familiar with, and it was like a brand new thing. Now, CBD is not a brand new invention at all, but in terms of a market, a big market developed. But what caught my attention was one day, I think this is when Amazon wasn't allowed to put CBD on the site under the name CBD, but of course you can buy CBD, and I would keep researching and looking here and looking there and see, okay, well, all right, so, because again, at that point you couldn't get CBD like that, or a bottle or supplement labeled CBD, because it wasn't legal everywhere yet. This is back in 2018 going into 2019, so it wasn't legal everywhere yet, right? But anyway, so I remember buying CBD and CBD type supplements from a store that that labels it as CBD, and then comparing it to the products online on Amazon, where they weren't allowed to call it CBD, so it was like hemp oil. Say hemp oil, or you look for full spectrum, and so I tried both, and it took me a while, not even a while, but I'm like, I think these two are the same. I think this it tastes the same, has the same effect. These two are the same, and that was interesting to me. I'll take it a step further. I will look at like the, not really the flyer, but basically the printout of the ingredients and the benefits and just the whole description of the product on Amazon, right? And I was reading basically the health benefits, like lowers anxiety, helps with brain function, helps with pain relief, all these different things, right? And then I started kind of noticing that most health products say this same thing, right? Which again, I'm not hating on, because you gotta sell your product, but when it comes to all these things, it's the point I'm getting to, is that with the products that are sold to you, that basically are there to basically fix you. Because most people who are buying supplements or buying anything for their health and whatnot, you're trying to fix some kind of problem, but you're not really attacking what the problem is. So a lot of people, might say, let's go with the CBD example again. A lot of people may have bought, how can I put it? A lot of people may have bought CBD, right? And you're buying it for, say, I don't know, say anxiety, right? And yes, CBD may be able to help you with anxiety, but also we need to get into, why do you have anxiety? What's causing the anxiety? Okay, because you can't implement the thing to fix it, and you're not looking at, okay, what's causing anxiety? Because, a lot of us don't understand our own mental health. So again, if you're trying to treat mental health, you need to understand mental health first. There's a lot of different things that affect our mental health, from our hydration, the amount of fat in your diet, the rest you get at night, and also your diet. A lot of us have diets where you have bread all the time, you have sandwiches all the time, you have cereal all the time, you have ice cream all the time, you have cake, you have cookies, all this junk food, and a lot of junk food, also fried foods, pasta, too much grains, all that causes inflammation. Really, the key to understanding all illness and pain and all type and discomfort and stuff like that is understanding inflammation. Once we start looking at what causes inflammation, we're able to tackle and understand a myriad of problems. Like when I started kind of tracing everything back to inflammation, that's when I started getting like, oh, that's why I had this problem. That's why I had that problem. So for example, with the mental health, right? The biggest game changers was a few huge game changers that changed my mental health completely. One was training myself to abstain from releasing. We grown on this channel, so you should be able to figure out what that means. But training myself to abstain from releasing and limiting my my exposure to adult material and stuff like that. Because it wears down the brain, and it just doesn't have a positive effect on the human brain, and then your overall dysfunction and whatnot. Another game changer was increasing the fats in my diet. I never consistently was getting brown eggs on a regular basis and getting that in my diet, and that was a huge game changer, because from there I was able to get more B vitamins and more of that good fat, and that choline bitrate that helps the brain to function on a high level. Another game changer was when I stopped consuming just overly processed things. And now again, anyone that listen, you see me eating a burger out in public and whatnot, don't bother me. Give me space and grace, but because I still have these things from time to time. I was like, last night I had dinner with my mother, and a lot of times I'm not even excited to even go out to eat nowhere no more, because like most of because for the most part it's like a treat for me, because most of the time I'm gonna wind up having to get a burger or a sandwich when I go out to eat, or something with flour. You know what I mean? Also, yeah, tortillas, Mexican food, that stuff is factored in too. Now again, I love all these foods, but I know that for my mental health and everything, it has a huge, a negative impact on my mental health. So therefore, I'll limit that stuff. Like I was telling my boy yesterday, man, like I would love to have French toast sticks on a regular basis. Okay? Or just I miss these foods because they're fun and everything. But also I learned to understand that those foods, you're attracted to eating those foods, or you think about those foods because it feels good to consume them. It stimulates your, I don't know what they call your pleasure sensor, but it's a stimulating feeling. That's why you like it, because you get a dopamine release from eating that food, But anyway, I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but going back to testosterone, right? I think the biggest issue is that, again, and I say all that stuff to say, we have to tackle the underlying issues first before you can increase your testosterone. It really, there's a content creator that I follow. She doesn't promote this product anymore, and I'm not going to say the name of the product because it's a black-owned company, and not support. Again, I never want to be I don't want to say a detriment or a op to black-owned business and whatnot, but I did have an issue with the product. But if you don't understand how the male anatomy works, or how male hormones work and whatnot, the way that they describe this product, you may hear it and say, okay, that sounds pretty good. And the way that the product was sold was that, it's full of all these different herbs, and 52 herbs, and and it's like a big pill, and you only need to have one every 3 days, and drink plenty of water. Now, anyone who's ever taken a male enhancement pill, what does that sound like? Doesn't it say on the male enhancement pill for the gas station that or the one that was real doped up, it would say, maybe not as much no more. I think it's more like you take one every 24 hours. But they have that disclaimer and they say drink plenty of water and all this stuff, right? And it's like, yeah, that's the way that a male enhancement pill works. You can only have it once every 72 hours. There are no herbs and no vitamins and whatnot that you can have once every 72 hours. You know what I mean? And also, and again, the point of that product was for male virility, I guess you say male health and whatnot. But the main thing was it was supposed to give you more energy in the bedroom. Now, it's only things that's going to give you more energy in the bedroom is nutrients. Okay, it's not a science experiment. It's not. Don't get me wrong. Some herbs have proven to be beneficial for testosterone, but again, we're not tackling the issue of why don't you have more testosterone and why isn't your libido higher. It always has to do with the actions that you are taking. Every time it's about the actions that you are taking. Okay, so you're getting poor sleep, boom, which again, that doesn't just affect your libido, it affects everything. Poor sleep. If you consume too much junk food, sugar, everything I listed, all those things kill libido. You know what I mean? It kills it. Now mind you, we ain't saying you can't never have a burger, you can't never have a sandwich, but hey, listen, if you're able to still have sensitivity down there and still, kind of maintain a good libido and stuff like that, listen, more power to you. But if you notice that there's a dip in your libido and everything, and there's a dip in your testosterone and your aggression and all that type of stuff, then you need to kind of analyze what you're eating. And then like, all those processed foods are huge proponents to lowering testosterone. You don't need no daggone pills. You don't need no supplements. It's only a few supplements out there that actually do anything for testosterone, and it's mostly vitamins and naturally occurring amino acids that exist I think the amino acid profile of protein. You know what I mean? Like I always say, L-arginine, L-citrulline, those are the main things, because they both create blood flow and increase nitric oxide production. I think a lot of people hear about it. For a long time, I didn't understand how L-citrulline worked. Cause I took it here and there, but I didn't really get how it worked. L-citrulline it basically like gives you erections that really get you to stand up. And the arginine, you need to have both. You don't need to take L-citrulline every day. You can take L-citrulline for a few days a week and whatnot, and it'll get the L-arginine like going. And then you can take L-arginine before exercise and before lovemaking and whatnot. And you should have good performance. But bigger than all that, one of the biggest game changers for me in terms of testosterone, in terms of just feeling better in general and being more active, is carbohydrates. Yeah, carbs. I said the C word. I said it. Carbs, biggest game changer. That changed everything for me. In the last year, from 2021, you know what? We can just do 2022. I was the most active I've ever been in my life in 2022. Just in terms of like overall movement. I wasn't doing anything too crazy. The biggest thing I changed was I started spending about 2.5 hours outside every day, walking every day, and I still do it now. I just got done doing an 1.5 hour walk, and I usually don't even like to start my day, especially when it's warm outside. I don't even want to start my day until I walk for about an 1.5 hours, and then I go to the gym, and then I feel better. That's why I need to wake up at like 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? So that I can get outside about 7. Be done my walk about 8:39. Maybe I hit the gym, and then I'm ready to start working. Because most people start working around like 9:30, 10. So but that was the biggest game changer. But when I first moved into my new apartment and whatnot, I started to walk a little more, and that definitely helped me with coming down and staying down, right? And I can remember when I would walk from, now mind you, I think from my house to the end of my street, that might be like, I think that's short of a mile. I can remember, I'm not saying I was like super tired, but I can remember like it kind of starting to hurt a little bit sometimes when I would go on these walks. So I'll be pretty exhausted, or I definitely would need to like lay down, or just have that crashing feeling where you tired but you can't go to sleep. I would have that feeling sometimes, and also I would have that feeling where my legs just start feeling a little bit like jelly. It just didn't feel good. And I always ask myself, man, I'm eating this, I'm eating that, and whatnot. I should have more energy, or why don't I ever feel like I have energy? And I didn't understand, because you don't get enough carbohydrates in. A lot of people don't actually consume enough carbs. Most people don't. Most people are not getting in 250 to 400 grams of good carbs every day, like some rice, brown rice, sweet potatoes, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Basically, whole food carbohydrate sources. A lot of people don't do that, and you don't need to have a bunch of carbs every single day, but that was a game changer, and especially in the bedroom. Like I tell brothers, listen, if you have 2 sweet potatoes, you know what I'm saying, about, I would say, an hour or two before lovemaking, and maybe if you can have it without having so much inflammation, oatmeal is all right, you know what I mean. But if you can get in about 100 grams of carbs, I don't gotta be 100. It can be like 60 to 100 grams, 60 to 100 grams of carbs before lovemaking, and you also again, this is all assuming that you don't eat a bunch of inflammatory foods. You good, okay? Again, I'm gonna keep advocating for this. Get the blood flowing through the legs, man. Do if you're okay. So it depends on what your level of fitness is, but the idea is to get the blood flowing through your legs, and to get your heart pumping. You know what I mean? So if the most push-ups you can do is 20 at a time, so do 60 push-ups. I'm saying beforehand. If the most squats you can do at one time is 10, all right, so listen, do 50 squats. It don't gotta be right before lovemaking, but within that hour or so, you know what I mean. Well, I'm sorry, you need to do it a little closer to. But what's gonna happen is, that's the natural way to get the blood pumping. The idea is that you want the heart to push out more blood, pump out more blood, and when we start doing the squats and whatnot, that gets the blood flowing through, from down here, and it's pushing through the legs. You know what I mean? So the blood's coming down here, pushing through the legs, and on the way to your legs, it's passing by the big homie. All right, that's what I call mine, the big homie. So I'm gonna keep making these videos in kind of different ways, and in different variations and whatnot, and keep talking about the subject. And I hope that we can kind of build more of a discussion with people's experiences and whatnot. And hey, maybe some of y'all got some more tricks of the trade. But again, I want to keep touching on the subject of testosterone, and and I want these videos to kind of get out there, because I don't want men to suffer, man. It's a terrible feeling when you feel as though you're not in control of your own libido, and your own sexual appetite, or you're not able to perform to the level that you want to perform. And a lot of us want to have that same kind of vigor or excitement we had when we were younger, when we first started doing it and everything. Also, and maybe when you was in better shape and whatnot. But I mean, like, these simple changes can change everything. All right. Anyway, 6 Paths Dice. I'm out of here. Peace.